Today, we're going to do something really different. Mark, my producer, and the gentleman who created Mastermind Media, we've partnered on what we're going to do here. It's a game, and we're going to introduce certain things a little slow here and then. And this is a game that's going to be for adults and for kids. It's going to be educational. It's going to be fun. It's going to be nasty and dirty for the adult version as well. And so we're just trying different things to get your attention and interaction of commuting. I said commuting. No, we're not driving anywhere. Communication, because my lack of intelligence shows sometimes. And if you're guessing, I did graduate from high school. Bottom 3 out of 80 something. All boys Catholic high school. Got the shit kicked out of me. Still have fear of Jesus because of these fucking crazy religious people. And we're going to get into religion later on in a different episode. But anyhow, today we're going to do this thing, and what's going to happen is Mark put together some verses, and they're basically, it's going to be what you shouldn't say at these types of comments. And I'm going to give whatever the fuck comes into my head. If you've watched this before, most of it's, I want to say, it's brilliant. Fucking brilliant. So. Let's get this rock started. How you doing, Mark?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Excited about this one. This was a super unique journey trying to find these different situations, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Well, I figured, you know what? You can do it. I'd come up with shit. All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
What do we got?
Right. So we got 20 different scenarios, and this is number 1.
Okay.
My opinion, you're welcome. Here we go. What are 3 things you wouldn't say in a job interview?
The first one I wouldn't say, fuck you, if they didn't give me the job. Second one, I wouldn't say, are you doing anything later tonight? And the third one, I would never say, really, you're wearing that? I figure, what the hell?
All right. Number 2, what are 3 things you wouldn't do on a first date?
Pick my nose. I mean, I went out with a girl once, she picked her nose at the table, but because I like food, I just fucking continued to eat. Number 2, I wouldn't ask her if she'd like to play under the table, because that's the second date. You don't want to get in trouble, especially in public, unless you got things. And the third date, I would never, and this is for you guys out there that are fucking ignorant, ask a woman to pay, even half. Even if she asks you out. There's etiquette out there, but I'm sorry. Oh, I'm going to throw a fourth one in there. Don't pull out a fucking coupon, you fucking idiots. All right, that's what I would do. Yes.
I was hoping you were going to say that. Okay, number 3. What are 3 things you wouldn't say? Oh, no, I don't know if I'm ready for this one. What are 3 things you wouldn't say at a funeral?
Stop! I have something to say. I would not do that. That's the wrong thing. I wouldn't get up in front of everybody and say, you know what, this is a dear friend of mine. I'd tell the truth. The cocksucker deserved to die. I'm here just to make sure he's dead. I'd spit on him. And the third thing, which I don't know if you guys agree, but I wouldn't look around the room at all the single ladies, or if it's a woman whose husband passed away, and then figure out how I can get in there. I wouldn't do that. But then again, there are a lot of guys that would. And women too, depending on the situation.
Did you see this YouTube video where it was a funeral, and they were bringing the casket down, and then the one, I don't know if it was a side chick or somebody, she just jumped in and started twerking on it, and then the grandma had to kind of like pull her off the thing, and she was trying to twerk on the casket as it was going into
We
the
will
ground.
recreate this just for the version of that, but I'll do the twerking. Thank you.
You got it. All right, number 4. What are 3 things you wouldn't do in a crowded elevator?
I wouldn't fart, because I've done that before, and it's so embarrassing because they know who you are. I wouldn't rub up against somebody because it has cameras, and only God knows when you walk out, you'll get arrested. And I would not yell fire. I was in an elevator once and somebody yelled it. I don't know why, but we all panicked. And there's a fourth one. I would not hit each fucking floor. I got in with a lady and a 4-year-old. This was 3 weeks ago in San Diego, and the kid hit the buttons. If I could have, I'd have tossed him out the goddamn elevator, but 17 floors later, we finally made it.
Did you know that, or I heard somebody say, like, hey, we got all this AI, but we still haven't figured it out how to make it so you can't do that?
Oh, fuck, it'll never happen. No, unless we have mind powers, kind of like those fucking Marvel movies, you know. Yeah.
Something fun to try. When you walk into an elevator, stand the opposite way. and just look at everybody, highly recommend. All right, number 5. What are 3 things you wouldn't say during a heated argument?
I fucked your mom. I would not say that because could be real, could be wrong. I would never make fun of someone's intellect because obviously if they're arguing with me, they're not intellectual. And the third thing I wouldn't say in an argument is, well, you remember when? You remember, I wouldn't bring up the past because the past has nothing to do with it. I'd throw a fourth thing in there too. I wouldn't ask them, hey, is your daughter 18? That's what I wouldn't do.
Or say, you're right. In a heated argument.
Yeah, that's true. If they're bigger, you might want to just say, you know what, I'm sorry that I'm wrong.
All right, here's what, number 6. What are 3 things you wouldn't do at a fancy restaurant?
That's a tough one because I don't really care. Cheat the waiter, bartender out of a good tip. I don't think I'd ask for ketchup or mustard on the side. And me personally, I don't think I'd ask for mustard and a shitload of honey. I always ask for mustard and a shitload of honey. And there's another thing I wouldn't do at a fancy restaurant. I wouldn't give a fuck what they think. That's the most important thing. Yes.
Love that. Love that. Oh, this one's interesting. What are 3 things, number 7, what are 3 things you wouldn't say during a surprise party?
Get the fuck out. I think that'd be rude because I would look at the table to see if there's gifts first. Second thing at a surprise party. Seriously, that's all you got? Wow. And the third, I wouldn't say, why'd you invite that fucker? I wouldn't make anybody feel bad.
Referring to the person whose surprise party was for, or to somebody at the party?
Fuck whoever I didn't like.
All right, number 8. What are 3 things you wouldn't do while giving a public speech?
I wouldn't swear because that's gotten me in trouble many times when I have spoken. A public speech. I wouldn't call out anybody that's in the audience because if you single somebody out at a public speech, it takes away from yourself. Be very greedy and very selfish because you want everybody to listen to you. Number 3, on a public speech, I wouldn't send around, if you've ever been to Catholic church, they send around this thing so you can collect money. I wouldn't be asking people for money, even though it's a good thing to do because you should fucking pay me if I'm going to come to a public speech. It's called an offering. I can't remember what the hell it's called because when I went to church, when I was a kid, I had to do it. And you always were excited, but you know, you really couldn't steal the money because the priest was watching. But I definitely would not ask for donations. Yes.
I'm going to see you stepping up there. Before I get started, just pass around a basket.
Yes.
Whatever you can afford. Also,
Whatever you can afford.
My Venmo's up on the screen. Brilliant. All right, number 9. What are 3 things you wouldn't say on a plane?
Oh, that's simple. We're gonna die! Number 1. Number 2, could you shut that fucking whiny, cry-ass bitch of a husband of yours up, please? Number 2. And number 3, I don't think I'd look at the stewardess and say, hey, Mile High Club, meet you there. I don't think I'd do that.
I had a friend one time. He saw a girl he liked, like rose up, and he wrote her a note and passed it all the way up, and then she opened it up, and it said, "Sue me if I think you're sexy."
Oh, how long have they been together?
So I think it was like a one night stand thing. They ended up wherever they landed. They stayed in a hotel, and then it worked.
Hey, hold on. Okay, got it.
All right. Number 10. What are 3 things you wouldn't do in a library?
Read. Why the fuck would I read at a library? I go to a library to get laid. And let me tell you the reason why. Intellectual people, sexy women read. Sexy women are educated. Most women are sexy to me. But yeah, I wouldn't read. I would not, if I brought food, I wouldn't chew out loud. I wouldn't smack like an ass because it's so fucking annoying. And it echoes in a library. I would have sex in a library, so I can't say that. Another thing I wouldn't do in a library is return the fucking books that I took. Nah, I still have a book. in my possession from the 7th grade that I took from the library at Holy Cross Church. I'll never forget it. It's in a, I don't know if people remember, but we used to have to use a butcher paper to put on the outside of your cover. Yeah, thank God. It's the first time I'd ever seen adult sex. Go ahead.
Speaking of God,
Lordy
number 11. What are 3 things you wouldn't say in a confession booth?
Number 1, the truth. Because what the fuck? That's just a guy sitting across. Well, nowadays they don't do confession in a booth. They do it one-on-one. It's not separate.
Zoom?
So
Zoom?
No, it's like just sitting in a room right next to each other. What would I not say in confession? I wouldn't tell the priest. Do you remember me, motherfucker? Do you remember me? Okay, that's wrong, but I wouldn't do that. And another thing I wouldn't say in confession, or whatever the hell they call it right now. Wow. Oh, yeah. Can you do something about them fucking nuns? They scare the shit out of me. I still see penguins. I won't go to the zoo because that. The nuns used to knock the shit out of me when I was in 4th grade. Sister Mary Elefante would bring us up in front of the class. You hold your hands out, and you would have to do a spelling or math. Now, I wasn't good at either one, but every time you fucked it up, she'd smack you with the fucking sharp end of a ruler. I think they outlawed rulers in the state of California in like 1989. But no, I would ask them what's wrong with those ladies because they scare the shit out of me. Yes.
Hey, Father, got a light? Also frowned upon. All right, number 12. What are 3 things you wouldn't do while babysitting?
Change a fucking diaper. You could sit there and shit yourself 3 or 4 times, pee all you want. It's just a way of living. Number 2, about babysitting. I really wouldn't let the kids to occupy their time watch porn with me. Because number 1, I ain't sharing my screen with no little fucker. I don't care how old you are. And number 3, I wouldn't take him on a date with me. I did that once before. Didn't go very well. And you know, what else wouldn't you do? I wouldn't give him pot because fuck. I don't want him to be addicted. The thing I would do if I'm babysitting a child, I'd ask them if their mom was single. Yes. Have you seen your new dad? Hello.
You just tell the kids that you're the new dad while they're gone?
Just call me daddy. And I don't mean like mommy does.
Moving on. Number 13. What are 3 things you wouldn't say during a romantic moment?
I wouldn't look at her at the bed when she has lingerie, laying down, legs spread, and say, "Excuse me, are those road bumps?" I don't think I'd say that. I don't think I'd say, well, I'm going in to give her a nice, beautiful kiss. Wow, your sister has beautiful lips. And third, I don't think I'd say, wow, you gotta eat a mint. I just think that would be wrong. There's a 4th thing I wouldn't say either. I wouldn't say, excuse me, is that an in or an out? And I don't mean In-N-Out Burger.
Ooh, okay. All right. Number 14. What are 3 things you wouldn't do in a foreign country with different customs?
Well, unlike Brittany Griner, I wouldn't bring any fucking drugs to another country or try to take them out. Number 2, I'd find out all their laws about prostitution and brothels to see if they're legal. So I would not engage in that unless it was legal, of course, and it's just kind of like a drug. I would never, ever bring up religion in a foreign country that has different ways of believing the religion than I do. And number 3, I would never want to bring back an STD from a foreign country. Yeah. I think that's about the only things I wouldn't want to do.
It's not even just top 3. Those are just the 3.
Fuck everything else.
Number 15. What are 3 things you wouldn't say when meeting your partner's parents for the first time?
Is your wife as good a lay as your daughter? I think that would be a little upsetting. Number 2, don't shake my hand so hard, sir. That's the one that pleases your daughter. And number 3, wow, where'd you get all this beautiful stuff? Your daughter told me, Oh, I'm sorry. She didn't tell me anything. You play that one on your own. And there's a fourth one I would never say because I did this once. I'd gone on a date and things went well. They invited me over to watch a football game. Then they told me they wanted me to stick around and watch the fucking Bachelorette. I said to the father, I said, sir, they had a dog. It was one of them little tiny ones that you clean your house with. Shar-Pei, Shar-Tu, whatever. I said, sir, is Thomas's balls bigger than yours? That didn't go over well. I left that house. The girl never spoke to me again.
Rightfully so. Number 16. What are 3 things you wouldn't do in a haunted house?
Number 1, I wouldn't go in. Number 2, I wouldn't go in. And number 3, I'm scared of my own fucking shadow when I'm by myself. A girl I used to date, Toby's mom. We went to see The Conjuring. She knew I was scared shitless of these shows. So I'm in bed. I wake up. She had to go to the bathroom. She decides to put on her nightgown and stand in the fucking door light and put her hands up like the girl did. I almost had a fucking heart attack trying to get out of the room. She thought it was funny. I didn't. It was very sexy. It turned into an amazing evening. But yeah, I wouldn't go into a haunted house. Fuck that. What's the purpose? It's kind of like, why would you go on a cruise in the middle of a fucking ocean, not with anybody around, just in case, if you've seen Titanic, if you've seen this fucking place in Long Beach where a boat blew up a couple weeks ago because they were putting the gas in wrong? No. Don't go into a haunted house. I've been to the haunted house at Disneyland and I cried. Bitch boy, that's me.
Look out for the new podcast, Bitch Boy, It's Me. Coming soon to Dennis Henning's podcast universe. All right, number 17. Ooh. What are 3 things you wouldn't say during a police interrogation?
I'm guilty. That's number 1. Because first of all, they need to have a lot of proof. Number 2, I've had some issues with the law in my life, and I got hauled in for something that somebody else did, and I was part of it. This was years ago. I would never say that I'm innocent. Think about it. Because if I get arrested, I'm pretty sure I did something wrong. And number 3, I watch a lot of TV shows and a lot of cop movies, and a lot of them interrogation shit. I don't think I would ask how their wives or their girlfriends are. I just don't think that's the right thing to do because when you're in interrogation, it can knock the shit out of you. You know, I know that's a weak one. I came up with some weak answers, but seriously, I respect the police. I really do. And anybody that can put my ass behind bars. Yes.
All right. Number 18. What are 3 things you wouldn't do in a hospital waiting room?
Masturbate. I think that would be very inappropriate and get you in trouble. Unless, again, you took like some type of Viagra or something else, and the doctor came out and said, look, the only way that that's going to go down is I would do that. I would not go up to someone who I know is suffering and crying and say, hey, what number are you in line? Can I have your number? And also in a hospital waiting room, I don't think I try to pick up on anybody that's there, especially if you're at UCLA Psych Hospital waiting room. I mean, kind of hard. But yeah, those are some things. There's other things you won't want to do in a waiting room. I just don't know them right now. Yeah.
But if you have some, put them in the comments below.
Please, Jesus, yeah, give me something here. I'm drowning here, kind of like the fucking Titanic. Thank God it's at the end of this episode.
Speaking of the Titanic,
Whoa.
What are 3 things you wouldn't say at a job you dislike? Because I'm sure that the guy that was hired to play the violin disliked it when it was going down.
3 things I wouldn't say. What was it?
So 3 things you wouldn't say at a job you dislike.
Oh, the truth, because that'll get your ass fired. It's happened to me many times. I would not tell the owner or the supervisor they don't know what they're doing. I know everything. Listen to me. We can make this better. And I don't think I'd say something about, their wife or their kids because it's really inappropriate. But the things I would say is you hired me for a reason. Let me do my job, God damn it. I would say you hired me for a reason because you're here to make money. I would not say, I think there's another thing I would not say at a job interview, that I'm a convicted felon. Yeah, I don't think I'd say that at a job.
When was the last job you had that you disliked?
I don't have my watch on. It's not about the job. It's more about people to me.
Yeah,
In 2018, I was dealing with different rehab centers. And, oh, my God.
Titanic.
This also is a surfboard. And they just didn't do something right before Christmas that I liked, and I had to tell the owners of their office now, or the situation. And so I said, look, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Within about, I think, 72 hours, I lost both of those consulting gigs, and that was equal to $60,000 a month. And in my mind, I told you what you needed to know. I told you. If I'm going to tell you something, I got to make sure I got something else secure. But there's not many jobs that I haven't liked. It's usually the people. I love what I do. I love what I've done in the past. But yeah, there's never a job, because every job I've had, I've learned from. My brother got married, and he worked at an insurance company. He got me a job there. So 3 months prior to him getting married, I never went to work. I met a very nice girl there. She did the work for me. I got paid. So I got no problems with something like that. But yeah, I don't ever think I've had a job. Now, I've had elements in my life that, things went wrong, met the wrong people, did the wrong things. But now, what about you? What job?
I'm trying to think back. I didn't like who I worked for, but I liked the people I was working with.
Yeah.
And so that was that was interesting. And I think that's the only reason I stayed so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe UPS.
You worked at UPS?
I worked at UPS.
That's
and
a lot
I was
of fucking work.
Yeah, so I was working it was like part-time. It was 6 to 10 p.m. and you just had to fucking just put the boxes in the truck and scan them. And then peak season hits when that's the only way to send shit back in the day, right? This is 20 years ago. So you just got your ass kicked for fucking hours.
You know what? A job I didn't like, there is one. A national brand, we'll call it Cheesecake. What the fuck? Got a job at the one that's out in, I think it might be a marina someplace in Los Angeles. And man, they make you taste all the food. And my buddy and I got jobs. They gave us the best schedule. It was on a Saturday night. And we're looking at each other. We're like, why the fuck are we here? It's Saturday night. So we quit right there on the spot. And I didn't like the job because it's so corporate and they didn't give a fuck about you as a person. And most jobs are like that. There's a lot. I'm blessed. I do some consulting with these great guys, a place called Interface, Evan and Link. And these guys are two of the greatest people I've ever met. And, Interface Billing. And down in Orange County. They're just wonderful. They do billing for rehab centers and different types of medical field. But they make it worth coming to the office. I've never really been to an office in so many years. It's fun, the energy, and they're good to you. A lot of people are just pieces of shit. And I had a person say to me once, well, we can bring somebody else in to do what you do. I said, you can bring them in, but you're not going to make the money that I would help you. So I've learned my lessons. But yeah, I've had a couple of restaurants that I worked at. But, like you said, it's the people. Sometimes you stick around for the people, but it's either the people or the owners that are just fucking worthless people. And greed. Look, if you're greedier than me, I don't want to work with you because that means you want more money than I do. Yes, there you go.
It's not going to work out that way.
Not at all.
All right, number 20. What are 3 things you wouldn't do when meeting your favorite celebrity?
First of all, I have no favorite celebrities, honestly.
Let's say a celebrity. Let's say Jack Nicholson.
I wouldn't say anything to him. So seriously, I just don't understand people enamored by celebrities. I don't understand when people, they're crying because they met a celebrity or an entertainer. And nowadays, what is a celebrity? Someone that's an influencer, someone that's an actor, actress, singer. Now, I can understand meeting someone and their movie moved you or their music, like Taylor Swift, the people that go to see this big tour she's just put on. You see the people and it energizes you. It's really cool because people bond over that. But I've never, there's no one I'd care to meet. No one, if I met, they've got a job just like I do. They've got a need just like I do. They do what they do out of talent, insecurity, need to be the center of attention. I think we all do that no matter where we're at, what we're doing. But no, I would never, that does not do anything for me. Yeah. What about you?
3 things I wouldn't say to Jack Nicholson.
What are the things that you wouldn't say? Do you care about meeting celebrities? I mean, you work with people that are so-called celebrities.
It's interesting. When I first moved to LA, when I first moved to LA, the first celebrity I met, one of the first celebrities I met, I was working at a place called Buca de Beppo, waiting tables, and David Hasselhoff walks in.
Sorry, did you say celebrity? Just curious about your definition. Now I realize.
Well, Baywatch.
There's a guy that eats a hamburger when he's drunk, if you know what I mean on that one.
But he walks in, of course, with a "Don't Hassle the Hoff" t-shirt and a sport coat over, right? So he goes to eat, and and he's eating in the restaurant. I'm a host at the time, so I just moved here. This is 2005, 2006, and all of a sudden we get word that somebody at his table went into diabetic shock, and he runs out and tells me to call the 911, right? Because somebody's in.
Yeah.
And here's what I didn't say to him: I thought you were a lifeguard. Shouldn't you know what to do? And I didn't say it to him, but that's what I was thinking, and I didn't. You know
what? The man's a genius. Do you realize his music at one point was the best-selling music in Germany?
He's huge in Germany.
Yeah,
the biggest.
Mean, think about it. And we can sit here and laugh and have fun, but the guy created Baywatch, or somebody created it. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks they turned in for him. No, they turned in for the women, and they also turned in for the guys. But one of those cheesy ones. Cheesy sells in this town.
It does.
But I don't understand where people say, "I want to be like that person."
Yeah.
I want what they have, because just because you have money, because you have wealth and fame, doesn't mean your life's any better. But I think it's interesting that people get so worked up, or here's the thing that fucking kills me. This is my opinion. We're going off topic here. When people sit there and they quote celebrities or people in entertainment or sports people, well, this is how Steve does it. I read, he's a very good man. And I'm thinking to myself, where'd you get that? Oh, fucking obviously TikTok, or you read it. That's why rags sell, People Magazine. You call them rags, whatever you want. Truth, not truth. Look at most of them nowadays, and many people who do the interviews are people their careers going one way. Think about that. Look at TMZ. Harvey, whatever his name is, created something that was really fun. And I guess it still is. Now they have TMZ Sports. Now it's just sensationalizes. But God, people, stop saying you want to be like people. This whole thing, what would Jesus do? Nothing wrong with that, but none of you are going to be like Jesus. Not one of us. Mary Magdalene, the Virgin Mary, we have some virgins. Mary Magdalene, who cares? But when people say, that they want to be like somebody, strive to be like your parents if they're good parents. Strive to be like someone who's in education, who's in education. Strive to be yourself. But, this whole thing about when people start quoting people and start saying that, their life, and then they get so enthralled in it that on social media, they're calling each other's name. They're trying to cancel each other. I'm like, what's wrong with you people? Do you think being a super fan means anything? It says a lot. And, usually, and I'll always say this, there's basements and parents that don't know your kids are down there type of people. But I just don't get anything, and the celebrities, I'm not taking away. They've earned whatever they have. I will never take that away at all. But it's just kind of like, wow, that's what you like. That's who you talk about. Those are, it's fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah. To think that just because you're a celebrity or people think that just because, it's a celebrity, then their word is God or whatever. I saw something, and it's of course difficult.
Pardon me, I had to move my balls. Go ahead.
It is difficult to be a celebrity too, and people just want fame, but they don't realize what they're really striving for, and that's when you get lost in life. But Tom Holland, I believe is his name, he said something recently that I really liked. He said, "Hey, listen, if you got a problem with me, text me, and if you don't have my number, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me."
Yeah,
and that's really that disconnect. But it goes the same way. If you don't know somebody, then how do you know that the skeletons in their closet? Why are you listening to what they're saying?
Everybody has a skeleton. Everybody, I don't care who you are. Nobody's pure, nobody's clean, nobody doesn't have. You might not have acted it out, but if you think it, if you're the religious people out there who always say, if you think about it, if you think about sex, you're going to hell. If you wait till you're married, Religion, and we're going to do a whole show on this one again. Religion is just, it's mortifying what I grew up in the Catholic Church. In my opinion, it's a great church. But my God, when they tell you hell and brimstone, you're going to hell if you do this, if you masturbate, if you have sex, if you don't love your mom, what the fuck? My opinion is people have to learn their own way of looking at it. And, who knows? I don't knock anybody else's religion, but when you knock mine, I'll come at you with everything I got. No one's perfect. No church is perfect. God. Everybody believes one thing, and the people who shove it down your throat, I truly believe when you shove something down someone's throat, you doubt it very sincerely. A good example. How many guys have you ever met in your life that if someone said, are they gay or this, they get so defensive? I get asked if I'm gay a lot because I'm single. I look the way I look. I take care of myself. I'll say, well, no, but that's a compliment. Or I won't even answer. I'll say, well, whatever you want me to be today, just let me be. But there are guys that will freak out. Why? I was watching ESPN. Here's a good thing. And they got Mike Greenberg. He's on with Dan Orlowski, I think is his name. And I was watching it today while I was doing some work. And they were talking about Dana White stated that they have that slap championship now where you slap the hell out of someone, knock them out. That he donated, I think, $20,000 for Green and Dan Orlowski to do the slap. And because neither one wanted to get slapped, Green came up with these different things about what he would do. And it was funny. He said one of them was caress your cheek. And the look on this guy's face, Green said this, I'll throw pie in your face, caress your cheek. And he's like, not doing that. So many men who are the macho men out there, no one said it was anything. He almost implied, I'm not going to let a man touch me. It's like, God, get over it. Don't be so goddamn insecure. You go up and hug, someone. Men give each other a kiss. They hug each other. But God, some of these people out there, they get so homophobic. And the reality is, no matter what we think, they're going to think of us the way they want. It just doesn't matter. The more you defend yourself. Now, if you just got out of prison and someone asks you if you're a felon, it's easy to find out. But no, some of this stuff out there that we just, as a society, don't fucking really watch and listen to, because you think about it. How your parents are sometimes is what you grow up with. A kid's not racist unless he hears somebody talks about it.
Yeah.
A kid's not going to think he could walk up like Donald Trump's kids probably do and grab a woman in the crotch or make comments unless dad or somebody around them. And that's not funny. People think it's funny. It's not. And also, you're a pretty weak human being, especially a weak man, if you think that always talking about sex, I joke about it a lot, always talking about sex with your friends and how great you are and this you are, God, there's people who know me and they've known me for 40 years. They have no idea who I'm with, what I do, how I do it. Now, I talk about my sex life on another podcast. It's all going to be about sex. Darkness, Purest Pleasure. It's coming soon, within the next 2 months. But the reality is when men start bragging about it, look, women can brag about all they want. I don't care. But God, these guys that just have to let you know who they're doing, what they're doing. Well, I always say to guys, I said, do me a favor, show me the text. Do me a favor, put her on the phone. Let's hear the conversation. I guarantee you what you're sharing with me, she's gone the next day. I don't want to know what you're doing. But anyhow.
Very interesting.
We got any more?
So we don't have any more of those. I'm going to get your opinion on a couple trending topics right now. Before I do, I was going to say, don't forget to subscribe. Let the people know. Subscribe to YouTube.
Again, this is my opinion. You're welcome. YouTube, have a channel. dennishenningsocial now, website. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can find me on wanted posters. Yes. And those are in your girlfriend's dreams, just so you know. What do we got?
All right, let's see here. Top one, Donald Trump down to stand trial after the election. Wants delay of federal case.
Down to stand trial. That usually tells me someone's ready and ready to go. The guy's going to go to trial. But also, he's a leading candidate right now for the Republican Party. What does that tell you about the party? I don't mean all Republicans, but it goes to show that social media has helped people overcome anything that's negative about them, because you don't know what the truth is all the time. But hopefully that motherfucker rots.
Yeah.
Hopefully they convict his ass.
All right, Britney Spears Sam believes she cheated with house staff member, saw a video of them together, and now he wants to renegotiate. This is her current husband.
Yeah.
Dennis's current
I
husband.
wasn't born yesterday.
And he wants to renegotiate the prenup because he wants out.
Well, here's the way. I think the big thing is he doesn't know unless he actually has proof. And it's interesting that, I don't know about you, but I've been cheated on.
Yeah.
First thing that goes to my mind is, well, how am I going to make more money? Nah. So God bless her. She's dealt with a lot and she deserves to have the help. He's been there. Who the hell knows what the situation is? Sounds like there's a little more greed, and what an excuse. Because here's the thing. If you think it happened 90% of the time, it happened to yourself. You don't have the proof. Hopefully whatever the truth is comes out, but hopefully he doesn't get an extra dime. I mean, that sounds pretty much to me like a fucking sleazebag. Yeah. So Sam, you're a fucking sleazebag.
Sam.
That's coming from sleazebags all over the world.
All right, so a soldier helping search for missing combat medic wife has been arrested after she is found in storm drain.
We see that all the time, and you hear that, where someone has died or someone has disappeared, and a husband or a wife or family has gone searching for them so they don't look like they're, guilty in the first place. Or it's kind of like, you always see these things where people start fires, and then all of a sudden you hear that they were there watching the fire. So pretty sick, because I don't understand this, how you could just take someone's life unless there's a purpose. I truly believe if there's a purpose, there's not a problem. But why would you kill a woman? Why would a man, and women kill men too, and I'm not negating that, but why the fuck would you do that? And all the thing, first of all, this is 101 on being a criminal. If you did it, get the fuck away. Do you want to get caught? If you did it, get the fuck away. That's my motto. Get the fuck away.
All right, last one. Dana White. It's about Dana White. Zuckerberg fighting in UFC? Dana White is absolutely interested in that.
Dana White would be interested in watching two dogs with two different fucking breeds probably having sex. The man is a brilliant businessman. He turned that corporation around. He made it what it is. You can tell that he doesn't give a fuck about the fighters. It's all about money, from their health insurance to their unionization and stuff like that. It's nice that Zuckerberg talks about it. You've made a lot of money, guy. You made yourself look like a dick stealing everything, too. At least that's allegedly you stole everything. He was going to fight Elon Musk, and he said Elon Musk is now not, not taking it serious. First of all, who the fuck cares about you in fighting? There's nothing about you that's interesting. You got a brilliant mind. You've done some amazing things, but god damn. If I'm going to watch a fight, I want to watch something I can really enjoy. Not somebody, and he's been training, you read about it all, but no, there's nothing about it. And like I said, Dana White's a great entertainer, like Vince McMahon. Think about it. Vince McMahon was accused of something inappropriate. He stepped down as president for the wrestling organization. All of a sudden, he's back. He's on the board. It's like the stories are out there. Who knows the fucking truth? But people like sensationalism. If they didn't, we wouldn't have these fucking housewives of every fucking state. I got to tell you, and I make these comments because I've at least watched one or two of them just to make sure that I'm not as fucking interested. But God, I've never seen one where anybody's interesting. So all these great showmen, all these great people that are brilliant at marketing, Dana White's one of the best. And think about it. He's brought back Gladiator. I mean, he didn't create it, but he was the first to really get the UFC on the map. And I think the brilliant thing about it, too, every fight is just a number. From a marketing point, UFC 259, 249, 136. It's cool. It's so fucking simple, but you're not going to forget it. But yeah, I just think that Zuckerberg should just see who else he can steal from in the third part of his life. Yeah, that's all I got. You got anything?
No, I don't. I think you've covered it.
Well, thank you very much again. All social media. We have a phone number at the bottom. You can text us. I'm very excited about all the possibilities. And again, look, I'm going to say this. I've got a purpose, and it's mine, and I've had it before anybody had an opinion. So your opinion is wonderful, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it really counts. Have a great day. This is Dennis and Mark, and we'll be back again soon. And definitely, please reach out to us. And if there's anything you think can make our show better, fucking share it, please. We'll do anything we can. Thank you. Have a great day.